Back in the 90s, R. Kelly was known as the king of R&B. He revived a dying genre with his monstrous hits like Bump and Grind, I Believe I Can Fly, and Ignition. Kelly was not only a singer, he had a cultural impact. He made R&B mainstream. His effort resulted in R&B classics, which released in the early 2000s by many young artists. He was known as an icon, one of the most successful artists, but then something happened, and he fell hard from that pedestal. Hello everyone, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Are you also following the Mute R. Kelly movement? Fret not today. We will discuss, will R. Kelly spend the rest of his life in jail or not? Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Also subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss any updates. Early life in Chicago. Robert Sylvester Kelly was born in Chicago on the 8th of January 1967. His family lived in the Ida B. Wells Homes public housing project where they didn't have much. Financial crises were a constant in his childhood. In his autobiography, he shared that he used to live with multiple women who went on to abuse him when his family wasn't around. He was sexually abused in his childhood, which left him scarred for life. The only good memory he has from his early life is of his first girlfriend, who was then pushed into a lake by someone and was later found dead. Her name was Lulu, and she was the first inspiration to pursue his musical talent. As a child, Kelly was once even shot in the shoulder when some young thugs were trying to steal his bike. Although later some reports also claimed that he was trying to attempt suicide, but he never gave any clarification. Fall from grace. R. Kelly was not only an R&B singer, he was a visionary. He was a legend when it came to songwriting. He was nominated for a Grammy when he wrote Michael Jackson's You Are Not Alone. He was also one of the wisest producers. It seemed like he knew everything about wooing the audience and topping the charts. He became a rage with his debut album back into the 90s in 1992. His second album, 12 Play, was an even bigger hit than his debut album. It went 6 times platinum and had many record-breaking songs like Bump and Grind and Your Body's Callin'. Even he was surprised by the level of success his album got. I didn't really know if the album would be as successful as it has been, but I hoped that it would. I was really taking a chance with the concept of this album. Within 3 years, he was mentoring promising young talent like Aaliyah. Aaliyah had to be the most successful female newcomer in 1995. R. Kelly wrote songs and produced her first album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. After this, everyone wanted to be mentored by him. He was even seen as somewhat of a kingmaker. The controversy surrounding the marriage to Aaliyah. All was going well until a marriage certificate started flowing around, which showed Kelly married Aaliyah when she was just 15. This sparked an outrage, as for the first time people started seeing him as a pedophile. On the document, Aaliyah's age was written 18, but in reality she was 15 at that time. Later evidence suggested Kelly had bribed someone to make that official document. Although they were asked multiple times about their relationship status, they always maintained they were just best friends. Aaliyah tragically died in a plane crash in 2002, so she never got a chance to share her complete story, especially now when there are multiple documentaries exploring Kelly's sick behavior with underage women. Aaliyah's last boyfriend once told in an interview what she used to say about R. Kelly. She just said he was a bad man, and she left it at that. Now, when R. Kelly has multiple women coming forward and sharing their harrowing stories of being abused by him, Dash also said Aaliyah was too one of the victims who wasn't heard at that time. If people had protected Aaliyah, so many other girls wouldn't have gotten touched. Aaliyah was the sacrificial lamb for all of that because she didn't deserve none of that. She's a good soul. Good girl. Wasn't even so resentful, like, let that man live, but keep him away from me. That's all she wanted. She was just happy to be away. Mounting cases of sexual abuse. Since the 2000s, R. Kelly has been facing multiple charges. There is a stack of claims against him. It has enough to make him be sent to prison. Abuse, child pornography, statutory rape, bribery, evidence tampering, and much more. Earlier, R. Kelly used to get away with his wrongdoings because the public didn't have complete knowledge of his sinister actions. But not now. This time, there's a very high chance that he won't get away with it. In 2019, BBC released a docuseries called Surviving R. Kelly, where multiple women from underage girls to his own wife told the world about the monster which was used and abused innumerable women in the last 3 decades. At parties, his crew members were given special instruction of finding the young-looking girls who he can then easily manipulate. One girl named Lizette Martinez shared Kelly sexually abused her when she was under 18. This resulted in her getting pregnant and had a miscarriage. The Reckoning, also a detailed interview with Tiffany Hawkins, was the first woman who filed a lawsuit against him in 1991. She accused him of having sex with her when she was just a minor. Had people paid attention then, young girls like Aaliyah wouldn't have become his victims so easily. Another girl, Faith Rogers, also shared her tale of being involved with R. Kelly when she was just 19. She then sued him on allegations of sexual battery and willfully, deliberately, and maliciously giving her an STD. Allegations of assault by Andrea Kelly. In the BBC documentary, Kelly's ex-wife Andrea also talks about her toxic relationship with him. She was a background dancer who later choreographed many of his music videos. She shared one particular incident of her performing in full makeup on the stage right after being beaten by the singer. She was on the verge of breaking down while thinking about how nobody knows what she was going through. While she was married to Kelly, Andrea was not allowed to meet anyone, be it her friends, family, or even fans. She wasn't allowed to interact with a soul. Kelly made her completely cut ties with the outer world. She told in the documentary how naive she was to think that he was only being protective of her. Now, looking back at it, no. Actually, it was to keep me isolated so that no one would know about the abuse. And I felt so distant and separated from the world that I didn't feel empowered to speak out about it. A cult leader. The more you'll learn about R. Kelly's devious ways, the more it will shock you. One allegation, which has to be the most sickening amongst many terrible ones, is him operating a sex cult. Before the documentary, it was a story inside the Pied Piper of R&B's cult in BuzzFeed by Jim Regatas, who exposed this. Parents of young girls who were trapped there contacted him by mail, and after reading a lot of the names and dates, he decided to pursue it. At first, the story that Jonjolin, or Jay, and her husband Tim Savage told me about their daughter Joy was hard to believe. Kelly was now effectively leading a sex cult, in total control of the lives of 6 young women in the Atlanta suburb of Johns Creek, they said. The second set of parents, Angelo and Alice Clary, soon told me the same story about their daughter, Azriel, and I confirmed the information from these parents by talking to 10 more sources, all of them on the record and many providing extensive corroborating documentation. Parents of 2 girls, Dominic Gardner and Azriel Clare, provided plenty of resources to make this story valid. Both of the girls went to a party in his mansion a few years ago and since haven't returned. He's brainwashed the girls into not going back. One of the parents told Jim, "It was as if she was brainwashed. She looked like a prisoner. It was horrible. I hugged her and hugged her, but she just kept saying she's in love, and Kelly is the one who cares for her. I don't know what to do. I hope that if I get her back, I can get her treatment for victim of cults. They can reprogram her, but I wish I could have stopped it from happening." Time's Up movement. This news story and BBC documentary shook the whole world. People are now finally understanding that Kelly is a deranged person who cannot be trusted at any cost. Social activists started protesting outside of his concert venues, and the outrage from the public was enough to even make his record label drop him. His concerts got cancelled, and no label was ready to sign him. After the series went on air, he got arrested in Chicago. He again pleaded not guilty like he had done all the previous times, but this time, too much information was available for the people to judge. The protesters also were not backing down, as he had been doing all these sinister things for the last 30 years, and not once has he paid for his wrongdoings. He always settled the matter outside of the court for a large sum of money. The Women of Color branch of the Time's Up movement shared why they think this time he will actually pay for his misdeed. As women of color within Time's Up, we recognize that we have a responsibility to help right this wrong. Kelly's music is a part of American and African American culture that should never and will never be silenced. Tell us in the comments below, what do you think will be the final verdict? Also, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to get notifications. Also, don't forget to watch other videos on this channel that explores more topics like this.